All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. We're up to episode 16. It's called End of the Beginning. So this is where the Winter Soldier is going to start picking up, for sure this time. And in this is a really good episode, so full spoilers if you haven't seen it. I love this. That's the closest we're ever going to get to him looking like Deathlock. You had to go X-ray to actually kind of make the character look as crazy as Deathlock does in the comic book. I think it's cool that they went with Deathlock. I think it's also odd that they went with Deathlock, but I don't know. He's not a big character, and I don't know. I guess they're just trying to maybe keep the smaller characters to like the smaller show. Even though Deathlock is making a comeback in X-Force, which is kind of cool. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. So let's talk about this episode. All right, so we're back on track, and Coulson has gotten the S.H.I.E.L.D. band back together and got all the big guest star types, you know, the heads of S.H.I.E.L.D. guest stars we've got here. We've got Bill Paxton's Garrett. We've got Blake is here, played by Titus Welliver. We got Victoria Hand, played by Saffron Burrows. We got Agent Sitwell is here, and I forgot his name, but it's because it's really complicated, but I like that guy a lot. And then you got Triplet. So you got a whole bunch of people, man, just all loading up because Coulson needs to take them up to 50,000 feet because they don't want anybody to be able to hear. They don't want the clairvoyant to be able to hear them. I don't know why where they came up with 50,000 feet, except it's the greatest distance away from something. So they figured maybe his mind powers can't reach there. And they come up with an idea to find the people on the list that had claim to have psychic powers that they've kicked off that list. And then they've decided to separate the names and things so that nobody can know the full scope of the plan, which is good, except this is S.H.I.E.L.D., man. It's kind of messed up. All the secrets are compartmentalized, and not everybody knows everything, and it's just nuts. It's like, how did the Winter Soldier, if it wasn't for Hydra, I feel like it was still only a matter of time before S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart because of something else, some sort of other infighting, just in general. But then they all get paired off, and in this, Skye becomes a full-fledged agent, and everybody goes yay, crowd goes wild. And so there's just cute little moments here, and then it gets serious because at the beginning of this episode, you've got Garrett and Triplet going to a safe house, and apparently there's this should have been their first fucking clue, right? It was a S.H.I.E.L.D. safe house, and if they're using the fact that the clairvoyant can see them, right? Well, I guess I don't know. I guess that's how they're getting past the thing that it shouldn't make sense that it would know where a safe house is if they're giving away the address when they walk in. It's very convenient. It's a very cool way to make people not really look at what's really happening. Is kind of what I'm saying. And then they shoot up Deathlock, who just decides that even though he could probably take these guys in a snap, it would be much cooler if he just jumped through the ceiling. I feel like, why didn't he just finish them right there? You know what I mean? And there's a reason for that. So, everything is being set up to make sure that when this person's revealed to be a traitor, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I didn't see that coming. Even though they're not being that subtle if you're paying attention, really paying attention. But again, cool things happen on this second viewing when you know all the events that happen afterward, like when Sitwell and Coulson have to say their goodbyes, because all of a sudden Sitwell gets that phone call saying he needs to get his ass back to the Triskelion, which means he's headed there to do the whole let's, become Hydra thing. And he has that look that him and Coulson say to each other, Sitwell says, good luck to you and good luck to you too. And he walks away. Coulson just kind of gets this look on his face. This is just kind of little subtle, I don't know. It's poignant because of, what happens to Sitwell. I mean, Coulson will never see him again because he gets thrown out the side. He gets ripped out of a car and thrown in front of a bus by the Winter Soldier. So, yeah, Coulson's going to have to... Coulson might not... Does Coulson even know that he was a traitor? That's a good question. I mean, it's not a good question. It's kind of a nerd question, It's a good nerd question. If anybody wants to deep dive that. Did Coulson know Sitwell was or ever find out he was a Hydra agent? I don't know. But once they get all paired up, Garrett and Coulson are taking a walk down memory lane, and then somebody's following them and, starts to try to corner them in there. And then you got Ward and Triplet, who Ward's not having any of Triplet. He's just like, I mean, Triplet's making sense. It's just Ward's being weird all of a sudden. But, everything's about to get weirder. And then Blake and May are going to this nursing home, a place for people that need to be taken care of. Not just, retired or elderly people, but just a special needs place. And Blake's putting on the moves with May, man. That's pretty cool. I don't remember that part. But then they separate, and that's when Deathlock makes his move and takes out Blake. Doesn't kill him, but pretty much wipes the floor with him. But Blake was shooting at him. And what's cool is that they can track him with the bullets that they made that Fitz made for the icer gun. And they didn't talk about that, though. They're like, oh, we figured it out. And I love when Coulson, compliments Blake even though he's not there. I mean, that's just the kind of character he is. He would appreciate the effort that, he does appreciate the effort that all his agents and people that he works with puts in. And even if you're not there to hear the compliment, that he's probably giving you one. If you feel like you've done a good job, chances are Coulson's already congratulated you in some way. And I just love that touch, that little tiny thing that just adds a bit more to the character and why you love him. And so, in the end, everybody's got their target on Deathlock, and they all go in there to take him out, and a whole bunch of shit hits the fan. Because Fitz finds the phone line that May's been trying to hide. And down there in Garrett and Fitz and Coulson, they get to the place where there's this guy named Nash that they were looking for. And he's in this room with a bunch of TVs, and he's got the little thing taped to his mouth, and he's talking to him, and this is apparently the clairvoyant, played by Brad Dourif, and it's typical Brad Dourif. I can, nobody else would be like, hey, Brad, we don't even need you to talk, man. We just need you to sit in a chair wide-eyed and look weird with a thing coming out of your mouth, and we're going to, just kind of have you record some lines, and we're going to make it sound weird, and you're just going to be like this the whole time. Of course, that's a Brad Dourif performance. So they, he's threatening and, oh, you got me, blah, blah, blah. But he's pushing and pushing and pushing purposely because they all think he's the clairvoyant. And it drives Ward. You first think that Coulson's going to do something, but Coulson wants him to go to jail. Here's the thing. This guy has to die. Just nobody in that room knows it except for the person who pulled the trigger, which is Ward. Where everything is explainable. Ward's just going to take his punishment for just pulling off part of the plan that Coulson doesn't know about. Everything that's happening, Coulson has no idea what's going on. All the things that are happening around him, his whole world's about to come crashing down, because once you really realize the scope of everything that's been happening this season and everything that's going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. and how much it's about to blow up and how much effort this season that they've put into doing things and being completely doing it for the wrong people, for the wrong reasons. It's crazy how much this is going to affect the ongoing series of the show. And in fact, I feel like the events that are in season 1 that happen, they're going on till the end of this season, it never stops. They never fully get back to where they need to be. And that's crazy. We're 6 seasons in and they're still basically kind of, they're S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's not like the way it used to be anyway. And now everybody, because Fitz finds the phone that May had, now everybody thinks May's a traitor. And then all of a sudden the frickin' bus turns around. Nobody knows who did it. It's Victoria Hand. So now we think that Victoria Hand's in on it. So everybody, everywhere you turn, there is somebody else betraying us. We've got Ward who shoots Nash, and now Coulson's in there, interrogating him and yelling at him. And then they go for May, and May doesn't know what's going on and why the frickin' plane's being turned around. Everybody, and then you see Victoria Hand, and now you think she's against it. Everybody's against them. Everybody, and I love it that all you have to do now is go, oh, well, who's the only one that nobody's kind of gunning for? And that pretty much narrows things down. I thought this was going to be a little bit bigger. This is a big episode. Don't get me wrong. This is a big episode, but I realize now that there's still if this is episode 16, there's still 6 episodes left of this season. So they have to pace it out. And if you watch this episode going all the way through the next, so the last 7 episodes of this season are insane. They are insane. What happens in the next 7 episodes is just crazy. And like I said, the characters never fully recover from this season. I can tell you that for sure. So anyway, that's it for this review. I really like what they're doing with Deathlock, but unfortunately, I don't think he comes back really that much into the story. And I feel like there's a lot more to tell. Bring him on the team. I mean, come on, you don't have to, just give him the costume. You don't always have to do the biggest special effects or whatever. Anyway, maybe they'll bring him back for season 6. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying have a great day. We will see you next time. Bye.